All right, welcome back to Lost for Words with Lori. It is November 24th. It's Thanksgiving Eve, as we like to call it. Gobble, gobble. So it is Wednesday, middle of the morning. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. That's what happens when you don't sleep. It's kind of fucking crazy, but yeah, that's kind of how the Lori do these days. But yeah, so welcome back. It's been a hot minute since I've spoken to y'all last. I guess I don't like the sound of my own voice as much as I made everybody believe that I do. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing all right out there. It's been kind of a crazy week around here. It gets cold. I've been working and kind of staying in my own little world and doing what I need to do, and that's kind of what we do. So let's see, what do we got going on in toxic cesspool world? That seems to be kind of my MO these days. It's one of those things where you draw inspiration from the world around you to talk about things to hopefully, I don't know, give everybody something to listen to. And that's kind of what I draw inspiration from, is toxic cesspool world. That's what that's what I refer to the social interwebs as of late, because a majority of it is pretty toxic, and it has its share of ups and downs. I've been pretty grateful that most of it has been pretty wonderful as of late, and I found a pretty awesome group of island of misfit toys to hang out with. I'd like to think that most of my life it's been an island of misfit toys. I never really fit in to begin with, and I mean, obviously growing up in the heavy metal world as a girl, I never really fit in anyway, so I've always loved being part of the outcasts and the people who never really fit in. And as you guys, I suppose any of you have listened to any of my other ramblings and my podcasts as of late, have realized that I haven't really been fitting in too well as of late either, comparatively to all the beautiful people out there who think that their shit don't stink, or they're better than me. And that's alright, they're allowed to think they're better than me. I'm kind of a big deal. Toby used to tell me that all the time. You're kind of a big deal. And he even bought me a plaque that says I'm kind of a big deal. It's pretty awesome. But regardless, the subject at hand, from Toxic Cesspool Land today, we're going to talk about Clout Goblins and Clout Chasers and Clout Demons and all these people who seek out to be the next big thing. And I don't know. How do we even attack a subject such as that? I guess in the big picture of entertainment and, the movie world, the movie and TV and television industry, clout chasers are a big deal, and influencers and all that. But speaking from first person, what's going on in toxic cesspool world, clout chasing's become kind of a big buzzword or a big thing. It's happened in the music industry too. People talking shit about their favorite, the next big thing, just to talk shit and try to deface the next big music person. It happens in all cultures, all genres, all everything. But we get to talk today about the clout chasers in the YouTube world and what's going on in toxic cesspool land, and my experience, I guess, as of late, and I guess how it relates and comes around in full circles to what's been, going on around here. And being part of this whole new culture of YouTube and people building channels and trying to get big and get subscribers, and I didn't know anything about any of this bullshit until recently, when Toby started doing YouTube, and I had no idea how any of that worked, and started to realize that it's a numbers game, and everybody's got to get more subs than the next person, and it's all about who's subbing to your channel. And okay, I guess that's how the game works. And apparently when you get big enough, then they put ads on your channel, and then you start making money. And I guess that was the goal, and okay, I get it. I guess it's no different than, making a lot of money if you're a movie star, or what the Nielsen ratings say about your TV show or your sitcom or whatever. So, I mean, I get it. There's a a goal. It's just like climbing the corporate ladder for what I do for a living or anything else. So I guess to a certain extent I can understand it. But then this whole thing about clout chasing came up, and I guess I really didn't understand it until I came in contact with it in my first world with what Toby was trying to do in the YouTube world. So, yeah, I had to do some digging to find out what all that was about. So finding out what clout was and trying to define what that was. And I guess clout in my definition, or what I thought it was like bragging rights, like, haha, I'm at the top of my game. Is like validation or whatnot. So I guess that was my understanding of it. And then I heard the term clout chaser, and I went, what the fuck is a clout chaser? And then I had to kind of dig into that a little bit and unpack that. So finding out that a clout chaser was somebody that hung out with big name influencers or rock stars or sports people, and then started shit and drama with them just to get popular themselves. So they really weren't the big baller, or they weren't the rapper, so it's kind of like their entourage, just people who hung around on the outside and then started shit just because it made them look more popular or more valid or whatever, even though they really weren't part of it. And I went, oh, okay, I get it. So there's kind of a leech, a hanger-on or some shit. And I went, oh, okay, I get it, I understand. So I guess from a certain perspective, anybody from the outside looking in this whole world of toxic cesspool world could have considered me to be that, I guess. But all I was doing was just helping my husband build a YouTube channel, and I wasn't really looking for anything other than, I don't know, just maybe some friends, but I didn't really care about subscriptions to channels or being popular or anything, because, I mean, as you guys know, we were already doing that in the music world, and we were having a great time and having fun, so we really didn't care about, or I didn't, but Toby really didn't either. So I guess that really didn't define us as being clout chasers, because he was doing YouTube and making videos, so he wasn't trying to gain popularity by not just hanging out with people who were making YouTube videos. He was actually making YouTube videos. So, whatever. But then I learned, in the few short months that we were in YouTube, that apparently it became about hanging out with, talking with, or getting recognized, or apparently collabing, which was something new to us, with these big influencers or these big YouTube people. And we went, oh, now we get it. Now if you get recognized by somebody who has, 1, 2, 3, 4 million subscribers, then all of a sudden you're valid. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter if you make a good video, or if you have real content, or if you have a personality, or if you're a good human. It matters who you know. And then we went, oh, I get it, it's high school. I get it. So the toxic cesspool world pretty much was confirmed that it's like any other social media platform, and it's just one big popularity contest, and it isn't about the content of your character or the quality of your videos. It's about whose ass you're kissing, whose dick you're sucking, who you know, and who likes you and who doesn't like you. And then we went, oh, okay, that's the game that they play. And Toby never wanted anything to do with that. And frankly, I don't need that kind of drama or bullshit, because I'm kind of a big deal. Okay, so that's just an inside joke. But I digress. We never cared about any of that from day one, but now we understood the way that the game was played. And so it became the reality of, and it didn't matter whether it was what Toby was doing with ghost hunting or what we were doing with music. We had discovered that even in the music industry, cliques and clout chasers, or whatever you want to call them, it's all the same. It's all high school mentality and popularity contests, and I want to hang out with the cheerleaders, or I'm not going to have anybody to eat lunch with. And so the reality is it's going to be like that no matter what culture you're in, no matter what you're doing, no matter whether it's music or what. So, okay, cool. Don't want to play, don't care. So we just want to make videos, we just want to do music, we want whatever. But it existed, and you knew it existed, and then the game is, how do you not play the game? Which is really kind of ridiculous if you think about it, because from our standpoint, what he was doing was more for a reason to get answers, and it was more on a scientific level. It wasn't about a social aspect, but again, not everybody's doing it for the same reasons, and we get that and we understand that. But then it becomes less about what you're doing and the quality of what you're doing, and more about having to do damage control to try to figure out where you fit in and the clicks that are more important, and who likes who and who doesn't like who, and drama chasing, than it does about creating content, which is what you were there for in the first place. And I'm going to be honest with you folks, I'm far too old, and I've gone through far too much in my life to regress back to that. I mean, if we were all 14, 15-year-old kids and this was AOL dial-up and we were all bullying each other in a music chat room, then I get it. But I'm 50 fucking years old, and I've raised my kids, and I just want to settle down and retire. I really don't have time for cliques and high school games and all that bullshit, but wow, so that was kind of a little discouraging and disappointing, but we thought, all right, well, we're going to try this anyway. And much like, other social media platforms, if you're smart enough to be able to block and unfollow and sift through the trash and let it take itself out, you can usually get through pretty unscathed. But I don't know, Twitter turned out to be a whole nother animal that I don't think any of us expected. And then, we discovered that the people that presented themselves as good humans ended up being pretty toxic and had their own issues. Well, and to be fair, they were younger and had a high school mentality to begin with, and had their own mental defects about self-esteem and substance abuse that created a hot mess of drama that we didn't really sign up for or expect either. But not content with themselves to begin with, and then became really obsessed with being these big clout chasers, unleashed havoc that apparently none of us in our little community of misfit toys that I've really grown to love and respect, unleashed hell and fury that none of us ever expected. I never did, not in the 50 years I've been alive, and I've seen some shit. But damn, that they spread some damage that I never thought was possible, because they felt left out or unwanted, or I don't know what the fuck, didn't get hugs or validation in their first world for whatever. And wow, what a crazy mess that became, right? And then became so obsessed and possessed with it, and then a whole bunch of new terms came up, like Clout Goblin and Clout Demon, and yeah, Demon. How ironic is that in that community, that became so possessed by being the next big thing that they were willing to give up, destroy lives by creating rumors that were so damaging to people. And then the thing that was really sad is that this was like Mean Girls or like some high school drama unfolding, where the cliques had already formed when all the new people came in, and then they started bashing all of the new people for defending themselves. And for what? So that they could maintain their space on the totem pole, and then claim to be supportive to all the new people coming in, but then couldn't even defend any of the new people by saying, hey, this is what we learned when we were trying to climb the ladder, and you don't need to do this. And then claimed to be Switzerland, but yet bashed all the drama that was going on in the first place. And we're all over here going, wait, I thought we were all supposed to be one big happy family in a community. and then went, oh, we don't have an opinion. We're just going to let people get dragged through the mud and get their feelings hurt. And then as soon as the smoke cleared, then they had an opinion and then bashed us after we'd already been victimized. Don't you think you could have handled that in private? They sat there and said, well, you guys should take this in private and handle it, and then bashed us for it when it was all over, as if that was going to get them some clout. Oh, now we're friends with the victim. And none of it made any sense. And the thing is when I came on the scene, it was all too late anyway, and I had nothing to lose, so I just told everybody to fuck off. And nobody liked it. And then I was the enemy because one of the fucking narcissists was baiting and bashing me from day one. Because they lost. They came up against somebody who was smarter than them and lost. And they tried to manipulate Toby, and it didn't work. And he's dead now, so I can talk about it without even mattering to him, because I can validate the fact that he never played the reindeer game and never said nothing bad about none of you. None of you even knew him. And now everybody's running around going, he sounded like a really nice guy. He was a really nice guy. He was one of the best guys, because when Snickle Fritz would come up and start talking shit about everybody, he'd go, well, maybe that's a conversation you should have with them. And when it didn't work, he tried to throw all of us under the bus. And everybody kept going, oh, well, we need to stay out of it. And then that person would go and run around behind somebody else's back. But nobody bashed Toby in the background and said, well, because of his association with this person, he must have been a horseshit human being. He wasn't a horseshit human being, and neither was I. But yet, I go into the live and try to, basically, I went in to confront the person who was talking shit about me, and he wouldn't even face me in front of all of these Clout Goblins and these click people who are bigger than I am. I have a YouTube channel now, which is a podcast, and it isn't even about the content that all of these people are in. And I asked him to face me and have a conversation with me, and he cowered and wouldn't, and he slammed me and said horrible things to me, and not a single motherfucker stood up for me. Not in there. Well, the ones that did were the ones in there, and he kept blocking them so that you guys couldn't see that they were there to defend me. And at the end of the day, now everybody is coming in and saying, it sounds like Toby was a nice guy and we wish we would have met him. Bullshit. You guys didn't give two fucks about the little people when we were sitting at the bottom getting our asses dragged through the mud. And now everybody's seeing the truth. And everybody's so worried about covering their ass about whose side they were on when all the shit was going down, because you want to protect your ass. And that's what I'm talking about. Everybody's so worried about their reputation and where they stand on the ladder than they are about the content of their character and how compassionate and caring and sympathetic they were to the people who were getting dragged through the mud and trying to tell us how we were supposed to handle the situation the way you would have handled it. But not once did anybody stop to think of how they would have felt. And then, all of a sudden, one of the people in your clique gets bullied, and you all swarm onto them and kick them to the curb without even finding out all the facts or going to them privately or quietly. It's high school. It's mob mentality. It's alienating people that you don't know. And then all y'all want to come jumping in and hey, I guess we were wrong, but we're not going to admit that we have any accountability. And now you want to jump in and be our friends because you see that we stood up for ourselves. We held people accountable. We have a backbone. And now you want to be friends? And everybody's saying, no, fuck you. And now you're saying, oh, well, you should do that in DMs. And why is that acceptable? I was straight with everybody from day one, along with a whole bunch of other people in our little excluded island of misfit toys that nobody cared about. And you guys didn't like that. And now you want to come and be friends because you see that they're going places or they're getting credibility. And all you are going, well, we were victimized too. Yeah, well, you handled it poorly, and you chose poorly when you chose to side or not side and not be compassionate and not listen and not put yourself in other people's shoes for 5 minutes and just blindly listen to people who baited and bashed and said a whole bunch of shit. I never tried to drag anybody through the mud, but they dragged my ass through the mud and dragged a whole bunch of people that I know through the mud. And then a lot of them sat silently and allowed it to happen, and you guys let them. A lot of people let them get dragged through the mud. And then when they started to stand up for themselves, then you said, "Oh no, we can't have drama in our community." And then you all ran and sat in your little cliques. And then as soon as shit started to clear, then you had an opinion and started bashing at them. And it doesn't work like that in my world. There's no honor in that. Kick people when they're down and then victimize them again when they finally get validated is reprehensible. And for what? Because the statistics are that none of these people are going to be as big as the big monster Michael Jordans who are making millions of dollars playing basketball, or the biggest, entertainment person who makes millions of dollars being the highest paid actor in a movie. And that it works like that in toxic cesspool world too. Just because you have, a monetized YouTube channel doesn't mean you're going to ever make a living off of it or have the biggest, fastest car or the largest mansion. And if that's your goal, good on ya. But it's lonely at the top, especially if you have to trash everybody on your way there. But if you do it with the best of intentions and you take care of the people on your way there, and you don't care about the numbers and the subscribers, and then go around trashing people on your way up there, then you don't get kicked and then come screaming back around playing victim, expecting it to give you the attention that you think you deserve when you don't. None of these people asked for any attention, and especially not me. I had plenty of it somewhere else. I mean, a lot of people are looking for an outlet for friendship in addition to that. And they're not looking to steal anything from anybody else. But everybody acts like it's a big competition. And for what? Can you take it with you? I mean, I'm having a lot more fun sharing other people's success and seeing them grow. And I have nothing to gain from it. I don't care if these people make 1,000 subscribers and get monetized. What am I going to gain from that? I'm not going to see any money. I ain't going to reap any benefit from that. So why would I care? Other than the fact that it makes me happy to see other people happy. Especially people who don't have anything. Don't have a house that's really nice, or don't have a family. There are a lot of people who don't have families, who are alone, or have dysfunctional families, or who have had really bad upbringings or tough life. And they're trying to just be a better version of themselves. But yet, all of these toxic people and these clout goblins and these narcissist fucking crazy sociopaths out there, and there's a handful of them, and you all know who they are. They've made it abundantly clear by trashing all of these people and creating the drama around us. And we decided to call it out, and y'all went, "Oh, you're just jealous." Jealous of what? What do they have that I could possibly want of theirs? I lost everything. 3 weeks ago, I lost my entire life. So tell me, what do they have that I want? Nothing. Because what I have, what I want, I'll never get back. None of it. There's nothing that anybody on any social media platform could offer me that is going to bring back the love of my life and my soulmate. So what do I have to gain by telling the truth? After what these people have put me through, what would I possibly have to gain? Nothing. Other than the fact that they owe me a huge fucking apology, and the truth that they lied and treated all of these people like shit, and validation for the victims of those people who suffered it. That's the right thing to do, because if any motherfucker who's listening to this had been through what I've been through, if I could sell the movie rights, I'd be richer than all you motherfuckers. Because what I've been through in the last 2 months is unbelievably stranger than fiction, but it's all true. And if any one of you had the time or the compassion or the decency to sit down and listen to it, you wouldn't fucking believe it. And you wouldn't understand how I'm not sitting in the loony bin being shot up with fucking drugs just to keep me upright and not in the fetal position. But I'm not sitting around on Twitter whining about it, trying to get attention, and trying to destroy other YouTubers because of it. Instead, I go to therapy once a week, I talk to my therapist, and I try to figure out ways that in my first world, not in public, I can deal with my shit and my grief. And then in public world on Toxic Cesspool Land, I'm using my knowledge, my wisdom, and my experience to help encourage these small people that you all kicked to the curb because they weren't good enough or popular enough or fit your mold or whatever it was that you thought wasn't good enough about them because they might have had a disability or they weren't pretty enough or whatever the high school mentality is that you can't be a cheerleader because you're fat or you aren't sports worthy enough or you didn't have blonde hair and a leather jacket. And I'm trying to support these people to grow a backbone and stick up for themselves and to reach for their goals and to reach for their dreams and to fuck all these people who are treating them like shit and to establish boundaries and to recognize red flags when there's catfishers out there trying to tell people that, you know, they need to do this and do that and get pushed around and used as doormats so that they can be used for whatever sick, twisted agenda that these people have. And I'm trying to use that as a way to make me feel good about myself by helping other people, not by trying to trash them or send them messages and try to create dissension and division amongst a community of people that's supposed to be doing science and supposed to be showing the world that there really is a paranormal community or there is something out there that we should be looking into. But people just want drama, and then they want to take sides, and then it's kids on the playground, and then it's my dad's bigger than your dad, and I'll never understand why people think that's okay. And it still goes on. And I get so frustrated because people don't stop for a minute to think, how would you feel? How do you think I feel? And I mean, I don't want to spend a whole podcast sitting around, oh, feel sorry for me, because I don't want any of you motherfuckers to feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for me. Yeah, am I sad? I'm very sad. Is the grief process suck? It fucking blows. I'm angry every single day. And I'm not just angry because I lost the love of my life. I'm angry because there's a lot of motherfuckers out there who can't see past their own nose to give two fucks about the people around them, whether it's in their first world or whether it's in this community of things for their hobby or this social thing that they're trying to create. To stop for a minute and think about how would you feel if you were in any one of those people's shoes. And not even mine, but what about some of the other people? People with the disabilities, people who are marginalized, people who aren't smart or don't have a job or who are disabled and have children or any number of people who don't live the perfect life. And then stop for a second and do some critical thinking about doing what you say and stop preaching to the choir and lead by example instead of talk and screwing around behind the fucking scenes to protect your own ass and your reputation. It seems a little hypocritical if you ask me. I mean, I didn't claim to be no messiah or try to fucking be better than anybody else, but you can ask around who I am and people will tell you that I'm a pretty decent person and that I haven't asked anybody for anything. But yet people are still coming to me and asking what I think because my opinion matters to them. And why? Why do you think that is? Because I'm honest. And when they ask my opinion, I'm going to give them an honest response. And I'm not going to be an asshole about it unless they want me to be. But they know that when I give them my opinion, it's the truth. And if I hurt their feelings, they can tell me that wasn't a really nice way to say it. And I'm going to own it. And I'm going to try really hard not to do it again. Now, if that's somebody who's hanging on to somebody else's coattail and trashing people because I'm missing something and I need to feel important, then I'll lace that shit up and wear it. But I don't think that's what that is. I think that's called being a good friend. And that's really all I want. Because at the end of the day, if my life should tragically end like Toby's did, I'd want people to say, Lori was my friend and I really liked her. So hopefully the Clout Goblins, the Clout Demons, the shitheads, the people who are so worried scurrying around looking for validation by who they hang out with and who they know, if you take 5 minutes to think about it, could you say the same thing about yourself? Is that if you died tomorrow, tragically, from COVID, or a bus came around the corner and hit you, would people be able to say something nice about you? And would you really be missed? Or would people be talking shit and saying, oh, well, that person did me wrong and I really could care less about them because they didn't care. And you should have heard the shit they said about me 6 months ago or a year ago. Or would there be a ton of exposed videos coming out about you 10 months from now? Drama, drama, drama. When are we going to stop worrying so much about where we stand on the totem pole and start caring about everybody as an equal human being and what they have feelings to? I ain't chasing clout, folks. I'm chasing truth. But I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm probably offended a few people because that's kind of what I do. But if I offend you with the truth, you might want to take a look at that. I got therapy tomorrow. You should probably get therapy too. But at the end of the day, wash your fucking hands. Be a good human. See y'all on the flip side.